up, guys?
What's going on, gang? It's hump day.
Hump day, Wednesday. Got the music going. All right, let me stop that. What's everybody doing today? Stop.
We're jazzed up. We're
All
ready
right.
to go.
Yeah, we were pumped. We were ready to go, guys. How's everybody
We made
doing?
it to Wednesday. That's a huge deal.
Halfway through the week. Dave and I are super excited. Why are we excited, Dave?
Because we got Lake Charles this weekend.
Yes.
That's right. And don't forget Grand Coshada Casino in Kinder as well.
Yep, Coshada.
I kind of just put those together because they are fairly close to each other. I mean, like
Now,
Delta Downs.
We're just going to go to Coshada and back, right?
We're going to go to Coshada and then work our way back through Lake Charles, like to hit Horseshoe and La Bear and that way.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. What happens if we love Coshada so much we just stay there?
Yeah, we miss out on Horseshoe and La Bear.
Of course. we will be arriving in Lake Charles late Friday evening at Delta Downs Casino. That's where we're going to be staying. And Saturday morning, actually, my brother is coming down. He's coming down Friday night this time. So my brother, this is going to be great. We're going to try to film this. He is a big craps player, but he wants to start dabbling with slots. He doesn't really play slots much, but he wants to. He wants to learn. And he said, you know what? I watched a couple of your videos, and the one I want to try is top dollar.
Of course.
Like, you're a brother after my own heart.
Gotta stick to the good stuff. You know, start him out with like the best slot machine they ever made, and then he can play the rest of the stuff.
That's it. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. So we'll be there Friday night, and then Saturday we're gonna wake up in the morning and head on to Coshada and mess around there. And then, like Dave said, throughout the day on Saturday, we'll make our way back to Delta Downs, and we'll be there again on Saturday night. And that's when we're going to do our fun live. So should have a blast on Saturday night. So make sure you guys are obviously subscribed and ring that bell for notifications, because we probably won't know what time, until we get kind of in the mode in that day. So, but there we go. We're excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We got another piece of big news.
What's that?
We got new poker chips in stock.
All right. Oh, that red one is sharp.
It pops. The new red and the blue
and
the same black is still there. These are in the shop now, of course. So you're ready to go.
Awesome.
I put them in just
man. I thought the blue was going to look the best, but I think I want the red now.
Red
pops.
Red looks good. I mean, the
black.
It's just so bold, you know. And now originally I did have the black lettering in there, but it kind of it didn't pop as much.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So before we get into Dave has an awesome topic to talk about today.
Oh man, do I ever!
Players. Before we get into that, I'm going to give it over to Dave. But you guys go ahead, and I see the questions flowing in while Dave is talking to you guys. I'm going to start starring the questions that we're going to go through. So get them in now, because we will run out of time like we always do. But Dave, how did this all start? Why did you get all into Advantage Players? What happened?
So, as you know, I subscribe to CDC Gaming for all their news, because they have like the latest on industry news. They are on top of it. They are the kind of news publication for the gaming industry. And so I just happened to see a thing saying how slot Advantage Players, I'm reading it from here, are exploiting your casino. And it was a webinar, and I was like, well, I'm going to register. So I registered, and I was like, this is going to be awesome. And I didn't know. I was just a fly on the wall. I just wanted to hear what's going on. I went to go click on the Zoom meeting, and my registration had been pulled. But they're not smarter than I am, because the phone number still worked. So I was able to use the phone number, dial in,
Sneaky.
Listen to the call.
I love it.
That was incredible. Now, they did a lot about slot Advantage Players, and I'm going to tell you guys about that. But they were talking about all Advantage Players, not just slots, but all Advantage Players. It was just specifically about slots. But what the wow was, and I kept on texting Mark, is the way they talked about players, the way they referred to us. I mean, it was quite revealing. It was. So when you're playing at a slot machine, table game, whatever, they look at it completely opposite than we do. They look at it as the house edge that we think of, being like, 5% on craps, roughly 3% on craps. They look at it opposite. They say there's a 97% hold on craps, or sorry, reverse that. But they say it opposite. So there's a 3% hold on slots or 8% hold on slots. The national average for slots, and this is the national average, is 90%. So everyone always says, what's the payout percentage on this? What's the payout for this? Well, the national average is 90%. So that means on average, you're going to get 90% play out of a slot machine. You're getting 90% of your $100 you put in, $90 back, you'll lose $10. That's basically optimal. So that whole thing was really revealing to me about how they communicate to each other. These are all industry people, a lot of tribal gaming people, a lot of Atlantic City people, a lot of Vegas people. I couldn't see anybody, but I could just hear the way they were talking, the different inputs they were doing too. But the main topic being advantage players and slot advantage players. This is a big deal to them. They view slot advantage players, the same as they do card counters and blackjack. They have no differentiate between the two of them. They view that as they are taking money out of your pool, us, the players. Advantage players of any kind are taking money out of the pool that belongs to us. The casinos don't want to see that happen. They want that pool to be there for us, because when advantage players come in, they are not buying hotel rooms. They're not eating food. They're not seeing shows. They're winning and they're leaving. Done. They're not patrons of the casino. They're just there to win. So it was incredible to hear that. And I learned a lot about advantage plays and perceived advantage plays.
Yes.
What was really eye-opening to me. So there's perceived advantage, which are the pigs, the pots, everything that looks like it's going up and up and up and giving you a better chance, but isn't really there. So that is a perceived advantage. It's not true. Then there's persistent advantage, which is actually a true advantage play. The best thing I can come up with as an example to this would be when wilds strike up like heavily in that one little game with all the wilds, or the Frankenstein, where it has many more of the multipliers on the It's Alive. Those are the best examples I can give you on those persistent advantage games. Then you have non-advantage games. Non-advantage games are every other game out there. Double Diamond, Top Dollar, Pinball. All these games are non-advantage games. There's no way the bonus can have an advantage to you. You don't get anything extra by playing. So there's no extra incentive to play the game to get the bonus to be bigger than it would be in like an advantage play. And the same thing with the non-advantage play, the perceived advantage, which is all the pots, which you can't do anything either. So they're focused on the persistent advantage games, those games in the casino that are giving players a clear advantage over the rest of the players. Now, the solution that they're coming up with, so for one, they're basically saying no free play for those players if they prove that they're advantage players, which apparently is getting harder because the advantage players are taking their card out and not using it because they don't care about the points, because they're not going to, be a patron of your casino anyway. So then they will come in and they will start flagging these people as they come in and find them. And there have been several places. This is mainly up in the north where this guy was talking about. Judging by his accent, I'm saying Wisconsin area, maybe, just as a guess. And they were starting to remove advantage players from their casino, which shocked me that they were going that far. Now, some of the other players, some of the other casinos that were, again, judging by accents, Northeast area, they were removing advantage games. They did not want them in their casino anymore. And they are definitely going toward the, perceived advantage slots, because those are their highest revenue generator. And apparently it's not even close. So that's why you're seeing more and more of these games, because they are wanting them in here. And they are just loving all these games. Because for one, you don't have an advantage playing. And two,
Yeah, but people think that they do.
But people,
That's the thing.
the
It's
perceived.
the whole, it's the mystery of the lamp, coin trio, firecrackers, dancing drums, all these things that have perceived things that are growing. And we were using the word perceived because it makes you think, unless you read the game rules and you really look into it, you think there's an advantage. Wow, the coin stack over here on the left is huge. It's going to hit
so much
soon.
bigger. I'm going to play that.
The bonus hasn't hit in a long time, so it's got to hit soon. That's perceived. It doesn't.
And I'm totally guilty about that too.
Illusion. Oh, we all are.
But that's totally
that's
guilty
why
about
game designers put it in there. And I don't
exactly.
You've heard my rants on this, but I cannot stand it. I think it's really close to that ethical line, in my opinion, because
it seems like
if you're going to do something like that, you got to put it front and center, right below the pots, right below the pigs and the coins and the firecrackers. You got to put it right there so people can read it. They put everything else there. You have to bet 10 credits to get top dollar on Top Dollar Grand. They put that there, so why don't they put that there? That's the perceived advantage. And so, we got a lot of comments actually while you were talking, Dave. We barely generated a lot of things. So most of you guys have figured it out by now, but advantage plays are those games like the must hit by progressives are the most common. Like these are the ones.
They mentioned the gangs.
Yeah. The gang. And if you've never been to WinStar, you've probably seen them. Brian's always seeing them in there.
Yep.
They have one AirPod in their ear. They're walking around and they're basically just touching every machine. And what they're doing is looking at where the must hit by progressives are on each bet level and each denomination. And whenever they think, or they've got it all figured out, they've been doing this long enough, they know where the positive EV is, which is expected value. They know what that number is, that magic number. And we've even heard this from the Ainsworth guys, that there is a number. He wouldn't tell me what it is, but he says these guys have figured it out. That let's say, I'm just using an example, if it's a $9,000 to $10,000 must hit by progressive that you find on most dollar Ainsworth games, there's a number like 9,750, somewhere around
9,800.
There. Right, it's somewhere there. I don't know what it is, but it's close enough that there's a very high probability that they will have a positive outcome from sitting down and playing it at that time. And this is why if you ever go to WinStar, they are filled with must hit by progressive machines. Ainsworth has a big footprint at WinStar, but they're all low. All the major progressives are low there because this gang will find it and do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter if it's free. They talked about this on the call too, where it doesn't matter if nobody's playing it. If somebody's sitting there playing the game, they will try to get you to leave if they expect it to be plus EV. They'll start smoking in your face. They'll sit next to you and start talking, and they'll be obnoxious to get you out of there. So they can play it.
The casino operator in Wisconsin mentioned the one AirPod in. They said they're super easy to spot. It's so like funny. They're wearing a uniform, and so they have asked them to leave. If they see them checking, they say, "We're trespassing you off," and they don't just ask them to leave; they trespass them.
Yeah.
So that means they're not coming back. And they mentioned the smoke in the face, and one guy said they will flick ash at you from their cigarette.
Oh man.
And I'm like, I would be so pissed if that's how you start a fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you know, this guy's saying cool out, look out after that at WinStar. Once you know what to look for, you can't unsee it.
You can't see
it. Brian, who's in the chat here, Dave and I, of course, every time we're there, we see them. They're always there. And it's just it's a team of people. You have to buy into it. Somebody was actually explaining this to us. You buy into it, and they basically employ you to walk around at certain times. Like you have a schedule. You have to go to WinStar between the hours of 2 and 3 and go and check all of the machines on the casino floor that have advantage play possibilities to them and record it and flag it if it's something that needs to play. And if it's flagged, you have to sit down there and wait. You just sit at the game. You don't even necessarily play. You wait for the game to come over. And I've seen this before. I was playing a Thundercash once, and there was a Eagle Bucks to the left of me where it was around 97.80, I think it was. And the guy walked in and he sat down and he was just sitting there. And I was feeling weird because I was playing Thundercash and he wasn't playing. He was just sitting there. Suddenly, like 20 people come in. They all put money into the machine and they were just fast stopping it like this.
Wow.
Just blah, 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 blah. And I stayed around. I got off of the machine because they were being obnoxious, of course, but I stayed around for a little while and played some other ones. It hit at 99.88. I felt so vindicated for them. Like, I'm so glad that it went all the way to the end. So, but yeah, I mean, it's bad for normal patrons, and I'm glad that at least the industry realizes who they are and what they're doing and trespassing them, because it's like Dave just said, it's ruining the payback percentage return on that game for the average gambler, the people that they really want they're playing. And could this be the end of advantage plays? I don't know.
So they mentioned that one of the things was like, you take, let's say, a 90%, 90% payback machine. Well, when they come in looking for their advantage, they're essentially playing a 120% machine based on the advantage.
Right.
And they said that's what's ruining everything. And they are very serious about that. And we've noticed how we've seen less and less of those Ainsworth must-hit buys.
Yeah.
And this would make complete sense of casinos are removing them to get rid of advantage players. Well, I think a better solution is to trespass the other thing with the little earbud in, because I always thought they were on the phone with each other. They're in their Discords. Yeah. They're in their different chats. There's a bunch of them out there. There's even YouTubes about advantage players. Don't watch that right now. Wait till after this live.
That's right.
But
yeah, it's just
incredible.
It's ruining it for the rest of us, right?
It is.
It sucks.
I'm hoping to be a part of more of these webinars. We'll see if I can keep sneaking in, especially if it's a topic like that, which was really great. I mean, I love being the fly on the wall in that conversation, just to hear the way they talk and to hear how they explain things. And the fact that they looked at percent payback reversed, which makes sense why, but it just blows my mind. It's incredible.
This could be a hot take, but what do you guys think? What does this mean for Ainsworth? Because their biggest model is the must-hit by progressives. The major reason why people play Ainsworth games is for those. So what does this mean for them? I mean, they may need to start shifting to other ideas if suddenly casinos, and Dave is right. How many times have we been asked in here, where can I find quarter Mustang money or Thunder Cash on the Las Vegas Strip? It's hard. Mm-hmm. There's only several properties that even have Ainsworth games. And this could be the reason why they don't want to invite that crowd in. They just, it's not, if you have one or two, it's okay, because they're probably not going to make a trip all the way over there just to check on the status of one or two. But when you go to WinStar and there's literally probably 500 or more of those machines with, oh God, what am I talking about? There's probably 1,000 or 2,000 of those must-hit by progressives in there. Not just the Ainsworth, but there's other games 60, that have them too. And what is that doing to the patrons there? So it's a very interesting topic. So
okay, so quick one from Amanda here, and someone else asked it too. Explained again what advantage players are. So if no one answer that in the chat, let me quick that. So advantage players are looking for any type of advantage. So card counters and blackjack would be advantage players. If you're on a roulette wheel, you're looking for a wheel that's maybe not quite balanced. A lot of times older casinos won't balance their wheels as often, so they get a little bit lopsided. Sometimes the buckets are worn, so that influences the ball drop. Loaded dice would be another thing of advantage play. If there's a certain dice, now the craps, they obviously get churned out a lot more. Dice get changed out a lot. But if there was, say, bad manufacturer, and these people have all these inputs about that. But in slots, it's taking advantage of the bonus. And in must-hit buys is the best example of that. As a must-hit buy gets higher, that's when you want to play it. Well, at WinStar, for example, they're always low. So like they're $5,000 must-hit buys, and they're almost all at $4,000, $4,300. I saw $4,500 one time, and I thought that was amazing. But that's about it. You're lucky if you see it go up above 4,600.
I didn't want to put this comment up, but I'm going to put it up because I think this explains what we're talking about here. I'm a pro-level advantage play player. Deal with it. You don't like it, take the machines out.
Right.
I mean, that's the mentality. I mean, you can do what you want to do, but it's what we're trying to say is it's ruining it for the other people that are not advantage players. And it's not their fault. A lot of people can't commit to being in the casino every day looking for this stuff. And it's you're right. I mean, just take the machines out. If they don't want advantage players there, they're going to have to take the machines out, and maybe that's the solution. But
But imagine if they're
everybody
doing
should be
like
on an
a
even playing
Wisconsin
field in
casino.
a casino. Is what I'm trying to say.
If they're this is legally trespassing someone. They're not just saying, "I need you to leave."
Yeah,
They're putting you in the book. So it's like that's serious business.
yeah,
And then all these information are shared. So I don't know what the outcome's going to be. Well, time will tell.
yeah. That's true. Time will tell. But I mean, more power to advantage players. I mean, there's advantage players in card games,
There's
with
advantage
card
players
counting and
everywhere.
stuff like that. It's everywhere. And it's fine. If you want to do that, it's fine. What we're just trying to say is we want to make sure people understand how it's impacting the average gambler that doesn't advantage play. And
And if you're
I've
an
always
advantage
been a firm
player,
believer. What's that?
okay. I said, if you're an advantage player, talking to that guy who made the comment, there's no reason to be rude to people. And I'm not saying you are, but I'm
Right.
saying that other people we've experienced have experienced that issue. So if you're an advantage player who's just going in there, checking and playing the game, but when you're the people who are driving out other business, that's where it becomes really
Smoking in
difficult for
people's
me to
face, trying to
understand.
get them off the
Yeah.
machine. That kind of stuff.
Flicking ash at them. That's really
Yeah.
horrible.
And we're not saying that's you. I mean, there's just some that are like that.
Exactly.
But I think that, I mean, it's important. And I'm a firm believer of this because we talk about it constantly on this channel, is that I really think that all slot machines should be completely fair for everybody pushing the button.
Right.
That I think advantage
Equal
players.
chance.
Yeah, exactly. Like advantage play games tip the balance a little bit. Even though the payback percentage is still the same, the balance is tilted to those people that do the advantage plays, and it suffers for the people that don't do the advantage plays. And we're telling you what that means today, but a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't understand that by playing a must hit by progressive machine that just hit, a lot of that payback percentage is built into that must hit by progressive. And yes, it can go very low. It does happen a lot. I think I hit it at 9,200 once. It does go often when it's low, but it doesn't always do that.
Right.
And the payback percentage of that machine is built in. That is built into it. That amount that's being given back. So it's an interesting thing. Really interesting topic. Not trying to get people fired up, but
a little bit though.
Yeah. All right, I got to say one more thing here. So I'm a software programmer, design games without flaws, or someone's going to punish you for your laziness and inability to test and do the math. Hold up. Now, a couple of things. One, I'm a software developer too. And there's a lot of software development going into these games. Advantage plays are not exploiting the machine's code or its operation. Advantage plays are simply features of the game that are built in purposely by the software developers that have that advantage play component, which is like the must hit by progressive. It has to go by 10,000. So the closer it gets, the odds improve. Okay. It's not exploiting machine's weaknesses or machine bug code or anything like that. These things are so rigorously tested, it's impossible for something like that to creep out these days. It could happen, but it's very, few and far between. So I want to make sure people understand advantage players are not exploiting bugs or weaknesses in the machine, using magnets or anything like that. That's not what we're talking about with advantage players. What we're talking about is looking for those games that have a slight edge based on the current state of the game, just like the must hit by progressive. So I think it's very important to distinguish that between just exploiting potential holes inside of these games. So, all right, we'll move on.
There's a lot of questions too, and we will get to several of these about the whole advantage thing as well.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some questions here. We did get a new member. I think this was earlier today, but April, if you're watching, thank you so much.
Welcome, April.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. We're stepping up our game a little bit on the membership stuff. We've got some exciting things going on. Discord, of course, and then we're also doing some more additional posts and videos that are exclusive for members. But we certainly do appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. All right.
Man, there's some good questions here.
This is a good one here. DF808 says, does the volatility increase on double diamond or triple stars if there's progressive attached to it for the top line hit? This is a very good question. The volatility doesn't really change, but what does change is the payback percentages are almost always lower when there is a progressive component attached to it. For example, if you were to take a double diamond machine that's set at 98% and attach a progressive to it, it's going to be forced to be lower than that. I don't know what that number is. Some of the machines I've gotten in here that have progressive attached to it start at 89 and only go up to about 91. They don't go any higher than that. But the other thing you got to remember is that the progressive base amount, okay, the actual amount that it starts at is usually what the top line jackpot is. Now, there are exceptions. For example, if it's a double diamond and it's a 2 coin, the progressive might start at 1,600 and start to climb from there. In that instance, it's exactly the same because what's feeding the progressive is people playing the game. Okay, it's not built into the game, if that makes sense. It gets a little complicated, but the volatility doesn't change, but the payback percentage is going to be lower, if that makes sense. And they fix that, by the way. So that even if let's say that a casino says, I want a high limit machine set at 98% with a progressive, they're not going to find a chip with that. It's going to be lower than that to pay for the progressive. So hope that helps.
Oh, and I did just.
Wow, he froze. Nice freeze. All right, I'll keep going. So
just remember what I keep forgetting is that
you totally froze.
Am I back now? Damn, am I still froze?
Yeah, now you're like behind. Do a refresh on the browser. I'll keep going.
All right.
I'll see you in a minute. So Lou G says, what is your favorite $1 machine besides Cherry's Jubilee at MGM Grand? Majestic Lions, right next door, are good games to play. I don't think they have any Sizzling Sevens there. I think it's just the Majestic Lions. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the collection at MGM Grand besides Cherry's Jubilee. When I go over there, it's typically the only thing I play because I call it like, I don't know, Cartoon City there. It's all video slots everywhere, penny slots, pretty much everywhere at MGM Grand, except for the high limit room, of course. But I mean, Cherry's Jubilee is where we go for why we go to MGM Grand. But if you're staying there, it's a very short walk to New York. New York has a better selection of machines right across the bridge. Excalibur's over there. Park MGM's right over there. So if you are staying in MGM Grand and you're sick and tired of Cherry's Jubilee, just take a quick walk and go check out some of the other machines. All right. Now, what were you saying, Dave?
So what was I saying before I froze? So anyway, To the Stars, Vegas Viking has a charity that I keep forgetting to mention, and I'm horrible at this. I do apologize. The Children's Army has a charity golf tournament. You can find their information about this on the website, thechildrensarmy.com. They do providing mental health for children. It is a great charity. Vegas Viking, he's on a channel on YouTube. Make sure you check him out. He does drink reviews around Vegas. Really great stuff. But his charity is a really great thing. And we're going to keep mentioning it up until his charity golf tournament that's coming up in October. So we're really looking forward to, spreading this message. And it's really great that we have a channel supporter that is also, doing something positive for the world, helping children. So just wanted to get that out there.
Makes sense. Hey,
and from Jerry.
I say it right now because he said, think of Jerry Lewis. And that's what I just did. So thank you, Jerry. It's not Gary anymore, it's Jerry.
Now, if you do get one of these memberships, make sure you go to the community page on our channel and you'll find the info on there on how to get to our Discord. A lot of stuff goes on there. Most of it's good.
Oh, man. Let's see. Larry says, Mark, start your brother on pinball first and show him top dollar so he can see how much better it is than pinball. No, I'm not going to do that. That would be cruel. Cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah.
What? See how you're playing this and you don't get the bonus and then you just give up?
Let's go play top dollar and then you can get the bonus. He's like, yeah, but I'm out of money now because I played pinball.
Oh, there's the lesson right there.
That's right. Exactly. The hard way. I'll have him do it here at the house. How's that? So you can see the difference. All right. Let's see. If you got one, Dave, go for it.
Okay, so what are your favorite machines to play at WinStar? Andrea, go back and watch some of our lives. You will see it. We hit them all the time. We hit 5-line, 5 cent, 25 cent, 5-line, 50 cent, 5-line dollar. We hit the 9-line, 5 reel, everything from penny to 25 cent. We play a lot of those Class 2 games over at WinStar. And as far as non-Class 2 goes, that would be like Frankenstein, which they have there. I think it's in Paris, somewhere around there. And then we also play, obviously, those Ainsworth must-hit buys just for fun of it, because you're never going to hit the progressives because they're always low.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
definitely enjoy the Class 2 slots, and I realize that you guys all around the country don't have a lot of Class 2s. I did hear, and we might be making a trip, Kansas has quite a few Class 2s, quite a few
Kansas.
bingos. Yep, Kansas.
Interesting.
So, yep, and my aunt lives in Kansas, so she would love it if we come visit too.
There you go. And early on in the show, we had a lot of Class 2 questions. I guess it's because of our WinStar trip. So Spirit of Morning says, we don't have bingo slots here in Connecticut. It was hard to ignore normal slots to understand how bingo slots work. Yeah, but once you do, it adds such a fun element to it.
It's a different dynamic altogether.
It really is. And it's funny because when we were there last, I met a fan. I think this was right before you got there, Dave. And he was saying, so which ones do you play here? I'm like, oh, we always play these VGT machines. He's like, I never understand the bingo card. And I gave him like the big crash course, 5-minute. Here's what's going on. He's like,
here's the overhead.
Yeah. So he's like, so basically you don't even look at the reels. You just look at the bingo card. I'm like, pretty much.
Yep.
And he says, well, do people know that? I'm like, all you got to do is look around and watch people that are playing that game. And if they press the spin button and you see their eyes go up, they know what they're looking for.
They know. But so many people don't, which is...
They don't. They just play them.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's really cool. It doesn't make any difference in the outcome, but it adds an element of being able to know as soon as you press the spin button, before you even see the real spin. And if you watched our live, how many times did I say, here comes mixed bars, here comes a cherry, and then it shows up? It's like, well, how did I know that? Because you can read the bingo card after a while, especially
you're taking a very educated guess.
Yeah, it's not always 100%.
And from Denise McQuinn, is it worth it to play slots in the airport? Are they different than the casino slots? Denise, had you asked me this question in 2019, I would have told you never play at the airport. Whatever you do, do not play at the airport. So sometime around during COVID, the airport took that time, because it wasn't very busy, to switch out a lot of games. They brought in a lot of different games. They brought in basically better games that are essentially more playable. They did get rid of all their old school games, which did kind of suck, but at the same time, they brought in a lot more games that in themselves were a higher payback percentage, maybe. Like I said, the national average is 90%, so you're not really that low anywhere you go if the national average is 90. No, they're no different than casino slots. They're all Class 3 games. You find Frankenstein in there. You find all your Lynx games, all your Dragon games, Buffaloes like crazy. You can find some top dollar premium places and Wheel of Fortune games, which Mark and I love. The only thing I have to say against playing at the airport is that you are playing without a player's card. There's no player's card for the airport, so you're not getting any points. So limit your play at the airport is the best thing I can say. Definitely don't play as soon as you get there. Get there, get your luggage, get to your hotel, chill out a little bit, then go play. Don't lose your money before you even start your trip.
That's right.
So, and then don't try to win it back when you get back.
Landing and losing your bankroll before you even get to the casino.
Who would have ever done that?
Dave.
There's a reason I tell you guys this stuff.
That's true. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. Before Dave had budgets and everything else like that, Dave lost a lot of money in places.
Yeah. I just put that comment up. We'll get to that one in a second here, guys.
Shouldn't have played it, but
all right. Del Mo, how much would you play on $2 and $5 Cherry Jubilee? So our rule is $300 on the dollar version. It's going to go down even further on the $2 and $5. I think I played $100 on the 5, maybe 2.
Ooh, that's tight.
Yeah, that was on our live show. And that's just because I hit the dollar one. But
Yeah.
guys, there's one big thing you got to understand about Cherries Jubilee, and we tried to make this clear on the last video because there's a lot of videos coming out about it now because everybody wants to play it. Is it true that it is the best value game to play for a chance to win 1,000 credits on a $3 bet? Yes, it is the best game to play when it comes to that. But there is a big jump from the lowest or the highest before it gets to that 1,000. It's 100 credits. So between 100 credits and 1,000, there's nothing. So Cherries Jubilee is very much a jackpot or bust type game. And so for that very reason, if you're going to play it, you really got to commit yourself to a certain number of spins or a certain dollar amount. Don't try to chase Cherries Jubilee because it could eat you alive. Okay, it really did. And we've seen people do that there. Here's the other thing, and this is just to try to cement everything. If you have $100 or $200, I really suggest you play it. I still think it's a very good game when you just play a couple $100 and just try to get lucky and hit that 1,000 credits, because your odds are pretty good compared to everything else that is on the casino floor there for winning 1,000 credits on a $3 bet. That's a 333 times your bet, which is pretty dang good. Okay, a lot of penny games, it would take you a long time to get that kind of return on a $3 bet. So it's worth a shot, but please limit yourself when playing Cherries Jubilee. It doesn't hit for everybody, but it does hit frequently. All right, hopefully that makes sense to what I said.
Hopefully.
All right.
I don't even know where to start on some of these. There's so many
Galia
questions.
says, will you guys please play Wolf Run soon? Love you. Oh, man, I hate that game. The first one is not bad. The second one was trash. Third one was trash. I've seen the new one. I actually watched Stacy and Greg play it once and just got eaten alive. And it's just your typical like rehash of those old games, but they put so many more features and bonuses into it, driving the volatility up even more. Low line hits. It's just, if we're around and we see it, maybe we'll put $100 in and try it, but it's not a type of game that we typically like to play for good reason. It's just high in volatility. The new ones.
But maybe.
And
one from Proud Monkey. Saw Airport have players' card slots. Will they take the South Point card for points since they own them? So now South Point doesn't actually own the machines. There's a little bit of a misconception on there. South Point is the partner for the Las Vegas Airport. All the machines are under their license. So that's not the same as owning them because every single game in there is leased. No one owns those machines. They're all leased, but they're leased under the South Point license. South Point gets a cut. The airport gets the majority share. But no, the card slots are inactive as far as I know. I have not specifically tried my South Point card, but I do believe they're completely inactive. There's no, it's kind of like Switzerland and the whole Vegas thing. They're bound to nobody.
They are used for attendance. So if attendance comes, they'll do it for processing hand pays or clocking in and out, things like that. They'll use that player's card system.
Make sure they're there.
That's right.
And here's a quick
one.
And
by the way, guys, that is I've received a lot of comments about that recently. Is I saw a slot attendant walk up to a machine beside me, put their player's card in, push a bunch of buttons, and then take it out and leave. What were they doing? And a lot of people think that they're changing the odds, right? No, all they're doing is clocking in and out or
showing they've made it to that section and they're,
that they're in a certain
how
section.
they walk around the room.
Have you guys ever, I don't know if you've ever noticed this. As soon as I tell you about it, you're probably going to notice it everywhere. But in like big buildings and things like this, you probably have it in your office building, Dave. There are these little, they look like little magnets.
Security guard.
That are security guard, and they're little magnets that are hooked, just on the side of the wall. And essentially, it's security guards have to walk and put their little key up to it, and that proves that they were in that area and that they checked.
Yep.
And so in large casinos, they're going to be doing the same thing to make sure that you are walking through that area, getting good coverage for handling tilts and other things that are happening inside of the casino. So the larger the casino, the more likely you're going to see a slot attendant or slot tech come up and do that because they're just keeping track of it. All right.
And from Brian, Texas people, there's a casino north of Wichita Falls, Apache Lone Star. So new it smells new walking in, no smoking, and very nice place. And also, Brian did extremely well there.
Yeah, that's why he's trying to get us there.
He cleaned that place out. So, but another point on to the Texas people, I actually got an unsolicited email about my opinion, or sorry, text about my opinion on Texas gambling. And so all it was essentially was, do you support, resort gambling in Texas? Yes. And then it's email your congressperson. I'm like, well, I've already done that. So that's great. But to me, that's progress. If they're polling people for any reason, because they're spending money to gather this information on those text chains and everything. So to me, that's something. I'll take something over nothing.
Absolutely. Progress is good. All right, let's see. Grant says, how can casinos like Mohegan Sun still have the old S2000 Wheel of Fortune machines? Aren't they owned by IGT? Well, they're not.
Leased.
They're leased, but probably already paid for.
Yeah.
But the agreement with those is that it's kind of lease to own. So at the end of a lease contract, whenever they do the lease for certain games, they can decide to keep it on site and they're done with their lease, or they return it. But they have to return it at the end always. And that's why you can't find Wheel of Fortune machines very often on the private market, because it's illegal. They're still a property of IGT. And so I get a lot of emails, people saying, hey, I want to buy a Wheel of Fortune machine. Never going to happen. Sorry. Because they definitely are still owned and leased by IGT. But they, if Mohegan Sun ever gets rid of all those, they got to send them back or destroy them, either one. But they can't just have them sell them to anybody.
And then from Sabrina.
Sorry, that was my fault. Go ahead.
So from Sabrina, Dave, can you please do a follow-up on your video, comps going down? Shortly after that, my comps went up in Vegas. Sabrina, you're 100% correct. My comps also went up. In doing so, I actually had to rebook my room for G2E and almost lost it. But my free play went up by $30. I thought this was incredible. And I've actually heard other people saying the same thing. So that kind of leads me to believe, did they realize they cut too much? We're going to have to see in the next quarter, if this is actually a thing to stick around. It is summertime, essentially. This is the worst time for Vegas. It is their lowest attendance period. So could they be doing that just to get more people to come in during the summer? We'll have to see as third quarter wraps up and we go into fourth quarter of what happens. But right now, seeing that extra increase was at least really good to see. I hope it stays around. But I'll probably do a follow-up on that when we get to that next quarter and see if they're staying around or not.
Yeah, and Dave's right. Like MGM runs on quarters. So every quarter, you can expect your comps to be reevaluated, in quotes.
You can see changes in your comps at the end of the month, but you're going to see the biggest change at the end of the quarter.
And Dave should also, I think I told you this, Dave. You may have mentioned this in a video, but let's say you just got through with a trip and maybe you didn't play as much as you thought, or you did really well, book your next trip right then. Don't wait for the quarter to end, because if you wait for the quarter to end, your free
you can
play
always rebook. You can always cancel and rebook. But that's what I do right away. I booked that room for G2E right after G2E last year. So I've had that same room reserved for a year because I don't want to take the chance on losing that. So if I have a good offer, I'm taking it right away.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, $5 super chat from Just Paul. Ooh. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Keep pumping out the great content, boys. You're welcome. We will certainly do that. Have you guys played Double Diamond Deluxe Quarters Jubilee at Golden Nugget? I've only seen it there. I have not heard of that.
Double Diamond Deluxe Jubilee?
I've never heard of that before.
I have not either.
I will look into that.
We're going to have to go on a treasure hunt.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hunt for that one. No, I have not played that. I've never even heard
darn,
of it.
We have to go downtown. Jeez.
Oh, that sucks.
Thanks, Just Paul. We're going to have to go downtown now.
We love it.
We will definitely keep an eye out that, because I definitely like finding those old unique games. And it'd be awesome. And I do know Golden Nugget does have quite a few neat games.
Yeah.
I never get in there because it's always packed.
Everybody's
in the Golden Nugget.
It is. It's very packed in there. I think they have some top dollar deluxes in there though. CSX says, question for the top dollar whisperer. I guess it's both of us. Could they make a top dollar game, making the top dollar symbol nudging like Double Diamond Deluxe, with volatility be increased with that?
Ooh,
So
like that idea.
Here's the thing with nudging. Here's the thing with the nudging, like on Deluxe and all that. It doesn't alter volatility or payback percentage at all. The par sheet is exactly the same. It's just, instead of giving you a blank, it's just moving it to a symbol that shows a move or nudge, for example. It's already decided, right? So that's the funniest question, and not a funny question, but it's like the Double Diamond Deluxe. People feel like, well, it's a lot harder to hit than Double Diamond because you have the nudges and stuff like that, or it's easier. I've heard both. It's exactly the same. Par sheet is exactly the same. Par sheet is the instructions on how the probabilities.
It's the illusion.
Probability is the same.
The illusion.
Pay table's the same. Exactly. Dave's right. It's an illusion.
Oh,
it just adds more excitement to the game.
Can you imagine, like top dollar grand and all that, when you get it just out of the play line,
yeah,
and it has a rumble to it?
Oh, it could do like the cash wheel does.
Like the cash wheel.
Where it goes, ding ding.
Yeah.
There's my sound
man,
effects.
That would be frustrating and cool at the same time.
I know, right? It's like, come down. No.
We already are shouting at a great idea at the same time.
That's right. Let's see.
Oh, good tip from Hey Helen. Drive the speed limit in Fenton and Kinder on the way to Coshada. Big speed trap. Thank you, Helen. That is much appreciated.
Yeah. I'll probably end up driving anyway, and I don't speed, so I'm not crazy like Dave is. Let's see.
There's a good one from Ruth, just a girl. Went to my son in Dallas on Monday, went to WinStar and couldn't win anything on the slots you suggested. Maybe next time. That does happen, Ruth. You are playing the good ones because that's the ones we play. We would not play anything that is not the best because we want to win too. So yeah, just keep trying, but keep your obviously keep your budget tight. Don't try chasing them. But sometimes that just happens. Last trip, I was not hitting any red screens at all. It was just nothing. So that does happen.
It does. Can't win all the time, guys. We tried to tell you that, but there are some better games than others, at least for the short-term wins and gains and stuff like that. All right.
There's one from SD guy that
Paragon. I took it out of there.
Oh.
Well, it was talking about Wisconsin casinos.
So
not sure which one.
SD guy, no, I did not hear which was casinos specifically, and I'm just judging by accent. That guy could have lived anywhere, but I know some people from Wisconsin. He talked very much Wisconsin, so I just made that assumption. I do not have the exact property. Nobody mentioned which properties they were at, so
I guess SD guy, go to look at all of them and see which ones have AP slots in there or not.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you which one. Paragon 21 says, on classic 3-reel steppers such as S2000, does each individual reels have its own RNG, or is there an RNG for the whole machine? So it really doesn't even matter which machine it is. S Plus, S2000, S3000, video slots. There's one RNG per reel. That's been that way for a very, very long time. To geek out just a little bit, this is for you nerds out there. S Plus machines like this S Plus pinball back here, it actually doesn't pick the RNG doesn't pick the result for the next reel until the first reel stops. So as soon as the first reel stops, it picks the next one, and then the second reel stops, and then it picks the next one. But after this, starting with the S2000s, the moment you press the spin button, it picks 3 numbers, one for each reel. And the reason they did that is so that they can introduce fast stopping. Because then you could fast stop it because it's already decided. But on an S Plus, you can't fast stop because it hasn't decided what all 3 of those are going to be yet. So, but yeah, 1 RNG per reel. The only thing that's different is during bonus rounds, that changes everything. But as for the base game, it's 1 RNG per reel.
All right, and here's one from, that was Susan thanking to the stars. Wow,
awesome.
You guys are growing fast. Keeping it real. Love to see you grow. Thank you for the info and support. Much respect. Thank you to the stars. We appreciate you. We look forward to hanging out with you in Vegas. Hopefully, you're going to be there during G2E. We'd love to see you, man. and we'd
You gotta
like
show
to
us where
get
the
that
drinks
drink.
are.
Yeah, we want to have a drink with you, and we want to film it at the Cosmos Chandelier Bar so we can get the Verbena cocktail. I keep trying to get Mark to do it. We just run out of time.
One of these days. He
One of these
finally
days.
got me to eat at Italy, so he's
Yeah,
making
it took a
progress.
long time. So
He's making progress.
we got to go
Let's
back
see.
to Caesar's buffet when you're actually hungry.
That sucked because I ran out of insulin. I'm a diabetic, and we got there, and I thought I had it in my pocket, my insulin, and I didn't. I was like, "Oh man, I'm sitting here in front of a buffet."
It's like a buffet of everything.
It's like the worst possible scenario, and so I had said, "Dave, sorry, I gotta leave. I might be dead before I get to my hotel room." Joking. Let's see. J Dog 199 super chat. Hope Dave isn't disappeared for eavesdropping.
We'll see. Everyone knows. Everyone here's a witness that I mentioned I was there. So if I disappear, it was them or aliens. It could be aliens too.
That's funny. All right, let's see.
Oh boy, here's from
Rocky Mountain High Limit Slots. I have not seen you in forever. I hope you're doing well, and you got to start your channel back up, man. I loved your stuff. If you had a budget of $250, would rather play slots for a while, knowing the casino will probably grind out your money, or place one $250 bet on, say, blackjack? Ooh, this is almost like a George Brick and Hammer here.
Length of play for me.
Yeah, me too.
I would go for the 250 just for the length of play. You have the chance to obviously earn more comps. There's still the chance of hitting something, but in blackjack, you could win, you could lose your whole thing. But if I had to place a single bet of that size, it would be on red or black for a roulette. I'd go straight up 50-50 odds, or 47, 45%, whatever you want to call it.
So what if you, Dave? What if you put a $250 bet on blackjack? You get dealt 7-4, and dealer shows 6.
You know what you got to do? You got to double it down.
Would you double down? Would you get another 250 after?
There's been only one time I have not doubled down
in that situation.
I got dealt. It was a 6 and a 5. And I was like, I literally had my last $5 out there, and we're only talking $5. It was my last $5. My buddy was sitting there. It's like, hey, can I borrow $5 so that I could double down? Dealer deals it down, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there trying to like blow on it to see if I can get it to come up and see what it is. In the long story, dealer hit 21, and I did not. So
yeah, that sucks.
But yeah, I don't play a lot of blackjack, but if you have an 11 versus a dealer 6, you have to double down. That is the way blackjack becomes a 0% house edge game, is by those different methods. Always splitting 8s, which my buddy Mark has a story about that, and he doesn't like telling it. And it was at Grand Coshada Kinder, and he had dealt 2 8s, which he already was at the top of his betting progression. So if you play a lot of blackjack, you bet increase as you win, and when you lose, you go back down to your original bet. He was at the top of his betting progression. Dealt 8s, splits the 8s. He's like, you always split 8s, with a lot of confidence on that first split. Gets 2 8s again. 8.
Oh my gosh.
He'd end up splitting 5 8s. So, and the long story short on this, he only won back one hand. So it was horrible to see. So anytime I see anything about you always split 8s, I send it to him just to jab that and twist it.
Ouch.
That's another reason I don't play a lot of blackjack, is because of that. Always split 8s. No, but yes.
And Tim R. Pat says, if you sit down at Rich Little Piggies and the blue pig sits at 17, you have an expected positive EV. I don't know if that's right on that game, but I admit I have not looked at the game rules.
We will make sure to
That
look at
would
the
be
game rules,
something you
though.
got to look at the game rules to see if it's
Yeah.
perceived or not. Typically, what I've seen is that if it has a potential positive EV, expected value, then there will be some kind of indicator printed on there that it must trigger by a certain amount. So Royal Riches is another one where, you know, the number of wilds that you get basically has to trigger before it gets to a certain number. That would be a positive EV game if you catch it at the right time. But if it's just a pig getting bigger and counting up, if it doesn't have that cap where it has to hit before it hits 18, and it will be, that has to be written somewhere in the game rules probably. If it doesn't say that, then I highly doubt it's a EV possible game, just because it's gotten that big. I don't know though. I can't say for sure. I got to look at the game rules on that. Next time I see one of those, I will definitely look and check it out. But be careful. Look in the game rules before you fall for the, you know,
Yeah.
everybody thinks the Firecracker game is not perceived. Everybody does.
Totally.
They think you cannot get the bonus until it's all the way at the top.
Yep.
And it makes no difference. It makes no difference.
You could get that
It
right
sucks 'cause
one,
it's
and
very
it goes
perceived.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And from SD Guy here, when playing Class 2, you get a bonus game where you choose between 3 different options for a free spin bonus, like Rake and Bacon, for example. Will the end result be the same? So now that all depends on what the card is, because that
Right.
the card dictates what the bonus is as well.
Yeah.
And so it's all SD Guy. You got to come down and play these games.
Yeah, I
You
know.
really make a trip. You know, they have smoke in there. You'll be fine. Yeah. But yeah, it's all in the Beagle pattern. So if you were to get, let's say, you know, Big Diamond, that would mean X number of free games. If you were to get Private Stripes, that's X number of free games. So it's all dependent on there. It's kind of the same way if the diamonds go across the top we talk about, the pattern depicts your bonus. So
right. Absolutely.
but they're a lot of fun.
Richard.
Go away. There we go.
There we go. You messing with me? I was trying to.
I'm trying to. You're doing the same.
I know. Richard. Richard says, you able to give a fair explanation on how the machine 90% payout works? Is it per session or overall type of system? So, and I saw somebody, I think Brian answered this in there, but I'll answer it too. It's over a lot of spins. The 90% payback return to a player is not per session. It's not even close. The way that they measure this, like scientifically, the way that they measure this is how the auditors measure it and everything, is they will run a simulation of the game with 10 million spins or 10 million games. And if the expected result, or if the end result of those 10 million games is within 90% of that payback percentage, then it passes. If it's not, they have to go back and tweak the math and the virtual tables and all this kind of stuff. It's a very loaded question, but they have to go back and basically tweak the math until they can consistently run it 10 million times and it comes within 90% of that expected value. So 90%, for example. So this is why I feel very strongly about this, that people should not focus so heavily on what the potential payback percentage of a machine might be, because there's a couple of things. One, you're never going to be able to tell in a small session, okay? 200 spins, 500 spins, 1,000 spins, you're not going to be able to detect the difference between a payback percentage on that machine and the one sitting next to you, for example. And this is why that myth where, oh, you got to play the ones at the end of the aisle is bogus. There's no way you could even tell that it was higher. You know, you would have to play it millions of spins before you would even notice.
Which one's at the end of the aisle? Because they've switched those machines around all the time.
Yeah, it does. That's an old myth. That's been that myth has been around forever.
And it doesn't work, I can tell you that.
There's no way a human can detect what the payback percentage is of a machine in a short term. Now, over a long term, let's say that you go to the same casino for 5 years straight, you play the same game, you know, every single time you go, then you could probably tell what the payback percentage is. But in the short term, you really can't. Not between the values that they typically set it at. You know, anywhere from 83% to 98%. Maybe you could tell after a few thousand spins between an 83 and a 98, but not likely. Now, if it was a 20% and 90%, yes, you would notice. But they don't make them lower than 70% anyway, so it doesn't matter. So hopefully that helped explain or helps answer your question. I'm not saying that payback percentage isn't important. There are instances where it is, especially when you're trying to choose which casino to go to. You obviously want to go to the one that generally overall pays better. And you can see that with the return to player stats if it's available. But we think you should focus more on all the other stuff that you actually have control over. You don't have control over the payback percentages, but you have control over which volatility of machine you're playing, which denomination you're playing, how many spins you're going to do before you're out. You're not chasing. You got your lockbox, you got all these things. That's what you should be focusing all of your energy on, and not trying to figure out what is the loosest, and I'm using those in quotes, loosest slot is, because you will go broke trying to figure that out.
Yep. Oh,
all right. Good question.
Speaking of a lockbox, we have a Gamble Smart mechanical key lockbox coming soon.
Ooh.
It's in the works. We'll see how
all right.
it's coming.
That'll be fun.
And from Jeff G, what about the casinos that use a bingo card system? Is that to their advantage as far as programming for the gain, or does it matter? So essentially, the bingo card system doesn't have an advantage play to it because that's all determined by bingo in itself. That's the randomness in the game. Now, there is some perceived advantage because there are several games like, Silver Shootout, Neptune's Gold, all that. They have those little, game, shows you how close you are to the bonus. But that doesn't mean you're going to get the bonus anytime soon. It's just showing you, look how close you are. A great example of this is and Brian's going to correct me on this, Blackbird's train robbery game. You can get 6 matches in one spin and it gets you the bonus. Or you can get 1 match and it takes you forever to get to 6. So there's really sort of, the game depicts the wins. The card depicts the wins. That game's totally growing on me too. That Blackbird game.
Yeah, sorry, I was going through the comments here. Where was that one? Okay. Our resident master here says the number 21 is 21 on the blue pig. Okay, so that changes things a little different. Like he's right. Like if there is an amount that it has to get to before it hits, then that could be an advantage play. And he's right. But still look in the game rules to see if it says anywhere in there the pigs, the state of the pigs, the count of the pigs is our perceived, advantage. If it says that, then no, it's not. But hey, I do trust you because you said you're an advantage player, so we'll go with that.
Trust the experts.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. Oh, we have a new member, Bill Wolf. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks,
really
Bill.
Do appreciate it. Again, make sure you go to our community tab on our YouTube homepage, and it has all the details about all the member goodies that you get.
And I see you had a baby there. Just let you know, sometimes we do throw around some language, so make sure.
Sure.
Didn't learn it from Dave, okay?
Yeah, the money jar is getting pretty full at this point.
Pretty full.
Yeah.
And from Burgett Leopold, Mark and Dave, what do you think about the 25-cent pinball? Is it worth playing? Thanks. I'm guessing you mean the new one, the new Diamond RS pinball for 25 cents, 10 credits a spin.
Gold. Yeah.
To me, that's the only way I'm playing that pinball is at 25 cents, 10 credits a spin. I would rather play the double top dollar, in any domination, but not pinball. Pinball in that double gold is just way too volatile for me. I have gone through several $100s trying to get the bonus, and it never came. So 25 cent, I like it for 25 cents. Again, keep your budget tight because it is not a game that gives you that bonus very often.
Oh, he's just trolling us now. Come on, man. You know the answer to this. But this volume thing is proof about how an influencer can say something and it just spreads like wildfire.
Yeah.
Because gamblers will just soak anything up. And that's why we created this channel. We're trying to clear all that out so that you can focus on the stuff that really does matter at the end of the day. And all we can say to that is just take everything with a grain of salt. Even us. Like I said this in the video the other day, even us. Okay, we're sitting here telling you this information because we have a lot of experience with it. Okay, and we want you to believe us, but don't let it just stop there. Go do your own research. All of the
Yep.
information that we tell you on this channel is publicly available. You can do your own research and you can find it. It's ugly, meaning they're usually buried in papers that you have to read, and data from.
And it's not sexy. It's not attractive.
It's not a well. I don't think
5
we are
spins
either.
will
But
tell you all you need to know about the machine. It's not like that. There's no
yeah,
secret. Believe me, I wish there was, because we would be telling you that there was a secret.
yes. So I mean, we want you to trust us, but trust always requires validation, and that's on you. It really is. So if you hear something, I mean, we hear a lot, and we're not going to call influencers out because that's not who we are. But I've heard all kinds of stuff from everybody. Oh, this thing is ready to hit because I put a bunch of money into it. We hear that all the time. Nope, that's false. The volume thing, of course, that's false. That was started as a joke, but it just shows like what something like that can do.
It runs away.
To the gambling people, and then you suddenly think you have a better odds when you're playing a game with higher volume, and you don't. But so just always verify, guys, from everybody, not just, I mean, including us. Seriously. All right.
I think I've got 2 here. Let me do 2 back to back. Big Dave's Tackle and Survival. The drinks are better at Kashada. I look forward to finding that out. We will be doing some research.
That's why I will be driving.
There we go. Actually, that's a good idea. Also from Anthony, can you recommend a first time in Vegas beginner card and slot player to go to for upscale hotel casino? I think you mean like a player's card. So first timers, here's the problem. You have a blank slate. You can go anywhere and you're going to be fine. As far as upscale hotel casino goes, I would definitely stay away from places like Circus Circus. If you're going to stay downtown, I would recommend Circa or the Golden Nugget as far as upscale goes. On the Strip, there's so many to choose from. Obviously, the brand new Fontainebleau, Wynn, Resorts World, Venetian, Caesar's Palace. I'd probably stay away from Harris, Flamingo, Link, Horseshoe, even though I do like those properties. I wouldn't consider them to be upscale. MGM Grand, of course, Aria, of course, Cosmo, New York, Park MGM, and Mandalay Bay I'd say would be on the upscale part. And then got to try to remember that there's a lot of different scales. There's a low scale, a medium scale, and an upscale. That medium scale at a lot of places like Park MGM and New York are considered medium scale properties, but they are very nice. So, and plus they'll save you some money when you go there.
All right. Katie says, I heard from an 80-year-old software engineer who only plays Cherry's Jubilee that if you keep playing the machine, it will eventually pay you.
This is true.
Well, that's
every
true
machine
for all
will eventually.
machines.
Every machine will eventually pay you. Yeah.
All slot machines are like that.
He may have been pulling your leg a little bit on that one.
Yeah, but it is true with that game that, I mean, I would love to have that one here so I could try to replicate. And I wish I could have the part sheet to tell you exactly what the odds are of hitting it. But I can tell you that it's more than 333 spins on average. They would never be able to put a machine like that, and it would always pay. Like, what I mean by that is, let's say you bet $100 and get it, and then you bet $980 and get it. There's never going to be a situation where it will never take $1,100 late, or I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's very possible. I mean, it's getting late, guys. Sorry. It's very possible that you can get 12. You can put 12 or 1,300, 1,500, even $2,000 in that machine and not hit.
I've seen someone put $2,000 in it and not win it.
It's possible. Okay. Yep. It can happen. It's a slot machine, but yeah, it will eventually hit.
It will eventually hit.
Very true.
From Janet. Dave, you're great getting news. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. I do
he
try.
Is.
And then from Chuck in CT, Mark, how much do you want for that S Plus pinball machine?
Not for sale. $10 million.
He just got that in. It takes quarters, like actual quarters.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just got this in. I'm like, you suck.
Well, the story behind it, believe it or not, Dave, I don't know if you knew this, but this was one of the first. I picked this up at a this and an S Plus old top dollar. This guy had it on Facebook Marketplace, and he had it for stupid cheap. They weren't working. They were pretty banged up. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance on it. I drove my van down there, picked it up, came back. And I actually on my Home Slots channel, I did restoration videos of this and the top dollar. And that's how Dave actually found me, was on the top dollar video. Yeah,
the one
the
you
same
own.
machine.
So it's just like the top dollar sitting on the other side of you. You used to own that same one too.
Yep.
Stop selling these machines.
I know. So anyway, the long story is a year or two after I sold it to this guy here locally, I've been trying to get it back. I was like, let me buy it back, please. Let me buy it back. And every time I went out there to repair it, he never played it. It was always, the reel still had the same symbols.
Oh, come on.
I'm like, dude, you're not even playing this thing. Please let me buy it back. And he's like, find me a video poker machine and I'll do a trade. I'm like, no problem. And so I did the trade over the weekend and I was able to get this back. So just because of the story of this and how hard it was to get it back, it is not leaving.
What's funny enough is I've probably played that same machine at Paris.
It's possible.
They took it out originally. Yeah. Because I remember playing quarter pinballs at Paris, and they had the pinballs and the top dollars and the top dollar, double top dollars all within a bank, and they all wrapped around each other. So yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy? It's definitely Paris. It's got the stickers on it. They haven't been removed. So pretty wild.
So cool.
SD guy, is that a BB2, I'm assuming, or maybe a BB1? Is it Ruby Slippers 2? I'm assuming. All right, let's see.
Oh, from here, Emily Fleming will be at Delta this weekend. Slotaholic told me to find y'all. Well, that's great. Cool. Awesome. Maybe we'll see Slotaholic there too. Emily, look forward to meeting you.
Yes.
Find us. We'll be around there.
Just listen for recording. It's very loud.
You cannot miss. That's how Liz finds me in WinStar.
Oh.
I was there. She heard me from across the casino, and I'm like, Liz, I'm not that loud. And she's like,
yes, you are
loud. I'm like, okay.
So Dave, what do we always do whenever we get mic'd up? What do I tell you?
Shh. Be quiet. No. Put it down further.
Tell you take your mic and put it way down.
Yeah. It's like practically touching my belly button last time.
Yeah, I know. Pretty much. It still taps out. Oh, Jersey, it's an actual pinball machine. No, I can't help with that one. The only ones I've ever worked on are like the old electromechanical ones. That's a big computer system. It sucks that's not working though. That's a relatively new game, the Jersey Jack stuff. All right, let's see.
Oh, I gotta take this one from Cheap. Does Park MGM still have the Nomad Chicken Dinner 3-reel slots? They don't. It was so. Mark told me about it, and Sheldon told me about it. I had to see it for myself, and they replaced it with this big monstrosity of a
Viking,
of a 3-reel. You know, with a big 5 foot
big giant one,
sevens machine. Yeah,
that nobody's ever gonna play.
What? Not that I ever did well at that
neon
game.
Sign and everything up there.
Yeah,
I want to know where that
neon
is.
Sign.
Can I bid on that and put it right here in front of me?
That'd be awesome.
I know, wouldn't it? Yeah, it sucks that those are gone.
And you had a supplier of yours here in Dallas who ended up with several of those Tropicana machines. Have you been able to get over there?
Yeah, I think he bid on them. I don't think he has them yet, though. I think they're still in the warehouse.
When he gets them in,
they're off
really
the
like
floor,
to see.
But he hasn't got them yet.
If he gets them in, I'd really like to see some of those because
you're not going to be allowed in there.
Okay, well, you're going to have to go there and tell me if they have that top dollar machine. It was a double top dollar, and the power was off on it when I went to see Tropicana before it closed. I just want to know how much it is. I
can tell you how much it is. You're not going to like it, though.
Oh, man. Damn.
I've tried to sell you a top dollar several times. You're like, I got
because then I won't be able to actually play regular top dollar out in the casino because
I don't have any room for it. I got too many plants in here.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
I could probably get rid of some books. My kid doesn't.
There you go. You can make room for a top dollar machine.
It'll be okay.
All right, let's see. Ashley says, how would you spread out $400 bankroll between triple diamond free games, double top dollar, and diamond jackpots, all $5 denom? Diamond jackpots, stay away from that one.
Yeah.
That one's
And
not good.
triple diamond free games, I would put that just below diamond jackpots.
That's better than double diamond jackpots.
Here's the problem: is you're asking a top dollar guy. I would say
yeah,
$400 on a $5 denominator. Let's just assume it's 2 credits. That's not a lot of spins, So try to think about that. That's what 40
it's
spins.
80 credits, so 40 spins.
Yeah, so that's not a lot of spins. So I would just focus on double top dollar myself. The free games version of Triple Diamond does have a little bit more volatility in it. So I'd say you're probably better off playing double top dollar. The old version, I want to put that in there. The original double top dollar. The new double top dollar, you'd probably be all about the same. Even on single pay line, you'd probably be the same with maybe a little bit better than double the diamond jackpots, and maybe about the same as triple diamond free games. That's a tough call. You're talking about a tough call on that one.
I still think if I wasn't going to spread it, I still would do double top dollar in all those situations.
I wouldn't spread it, that's for sure. I would
just focus on one of them, double top dollar. $5. If you're playing $5 denom, now if you're playing dollar, I would put a lot of emphasis on the triple diamond free games and the double top dollar. But the new diamond jackpots is tough. I got to be honest. I've played it several times. It is difficult, very difficult to get the bonus. I would stay away from that one. But try the other two. All right, let's see.
I got lost in the chat. There's so many.
Oh, that's fine. 4332, Michael. Just bought 4 of your max bet button protectors, and I'm anxious to use them. Good quality workmanship. Really idea. Well, thank you. They will love hearing that.
I was thinking about delivering to you.
Oh, there you go.
So most of the max blocker button people are in Texas and Oklahoma, and this person was not totally out of the way, and I was going to say I could just deliver, on the way up to Choctaw sometime.
Yeah.
Make that trip.
This is a really good question here. Captain Big says, if all machines are RNG, random number generator, how can a machine have a bonus that has to hit by X amount? So the way these work is whenever they reset, whether it's a progressive dollar amount or a progressive free spins amount or progressive wilds amount, like with Regal Riches, the way it works is that as soon as somebody hits it, the bonus round or whatever, and it resets back, the RNG picks a number between that range, whatever the range is. Starts at 50, ends at 100. It's going to randomly pick a number between that, and it saves it in the safe RAM inside of the machine. And as soon as it crosses that threshold, it's awarded. So the RNG is actually occurring at the time that it resets or the first game starts, basically, if that makes sense. And they all work that way. Just like the Ainsworth must hit by progressives, that's why it can be anywhere in between. It can hit very low, it can hit very high, it can hit in the middle. It averages out to whatever the middle amount is. But it has to be weighted that way. They can't put weight towards the end. And sometimes it feels that way, but it's because you're remembering that. But they can't put weight on that. And so it has to be just a true random number result whenever it's picking that. So very good question, though. Hope I explained that well.
And from Jeffrey Adams, are you guys going to be in Vegas the last week in August? I will not be. I will be in Chicago for Toughest Mudder, the 12-hour overnight event. So I know where I'll be already for the end of August. And Mark's going to be running with me.
No way. You're nuts. Actually, what's going to happen is you're going to start running, and then you're going to have to carry me the rest of the way. That'll be a
dragging you around.
Moment. Yeah, you should get 2 awards for that. All right. Ashley T says, thanks for all your great advice. I started cashing out wins above my bet and now leave the casino with a lot more. Isn't that amazing?
Awesome.
Like, I love hearing that because that is what we're all about. If you've ever watched our method before that we talk about, there's methods everywhere. We don't like the word method, but we call it that because that's what people search for.
It is what people search for.
But really what it is, it's being made hyper aware of those wins and doing something with it, not just putting it back in. Yeah, you spun 3 or you bet 3 credits and you won 10. What do most of us do? we
Right
keep
back in.
playing because it's never satisfying enough. What is that satisfying number? Nobody can really guess that either. You don't know. And so because of that, we just end up just we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied. We're just going to keep spinning, waiting for the big, waiting for the bonus, waiting for the progressive, waiting for a big. If you stop all that nonsense and you get a decent sized win over your bet, or even a little bitty win, cash out, put that ticket away, put another $20 bill in or whatever, and do it again. And then as soon as you get another win over your bet, cash it out, put that ticket away. You know, all it's doing is making you hyper aware of those wins, and you'll end up leaving with more cash if you do that. Okay. Than as opposed to not doing that. That we can almost guarantee if you do that. But a lot of people just, and we're talking about ourselves too. We do this too. Every gambler does this. You get a cherry, you're like, no, I'm not going to give up on a cherry. I need something bigger than that. I need a cherry double double or a cherry triple triple, or so. I need something bigger than this. And so we're all guilty of this. But you know, if you're really trying to walk out with cash, you got to do that. You got to be hyper aware of your wins and do something about it. So I'm glad to hear that, Ashley. Good job.
And from J Dog, going to be in Vegas over 4th of July. Never been at that time. Any place special to be that day. So the best thing I can recommend is Google best fireworks in Vegas for 4th of July. And it'll show you who is going to have a fireworks show that day. There's a lot of places that usually do them, but depending on where you are, you want to see what, where it be the best spot for that. So if there's fireworks behind Aria, you don't want to be up close to Aria. You want to be way back. You want to be like across the street looking up, or even at like, Paris looking over, that kind of thing. So you don't want to be as close as possible. You want to be a little bit farther away. I do imagine they're going to do some really good stuff, especially around Tropicana. Now, I don't know for sure, but Tropicana is a big construction site right now. What a great place to set up a bunch of fireworks, because you're not going to hurt anything around there. I do not know that for sure, but I do kind of speculate that they might be doing something big on that area because they have so much room for it. But definitely Google that. You're going to find a lot of places. A lot of effort goes into fireworks for Vegas.
You would hope so, right?
Yeah.
And oh shoot, where did that go?
That's hard to do. It's like it's just gone.
Oh, JP says AGS must hit by games are derided as must hit at, because waiting is toward the end of the range. I did not know that.
Oh, interesting.
So AGS is a manufacturer just like Ainsworth, IGT, Aristocrat. So I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
This is a good one. Cheap slots and cheap gambling. Mark, $5 denom, triple top dollar versus Dave, $10 denom, double top dollar. Who wins?
Oh, he'll win, because
triple top.
You have
triple
to
top
bet
dollar
5 credits. You really have to bet the 5 credits.
Yeah,
on triple top dollar, which is $25 a spin. Is that one that they have there that you're going to? Is it? Please tell me it's not $5. Do they have multi-denom on there? Because I won't play it if it's $5. That's way too much.
I thought someone had mentioned it was dollar denom.
I think that's right. Now, I would do
dollar
that.
Denom at Treasure Island. Yeah.
TI. Dave, I still go back and watch the one you did at MGM Grand on your Gamble the Globe channel. I still watch that because you have the best video of it. There weren't that many.
It was a great video. Horrible game.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
That was like Phoenix Gold. I mean, that was that.
Oh, man. That's so funny. And let's see. Lots of good questions tonight.
Oh, man.
I'm loving this.
I'm going to go back for Desolator or Magic here. Do you guys bet on sports at all?
No.
Very little. So I just did several sports bets because I got free bets for signing up for DraftKings at Foxwoods. I don't generally bet on sports. I'll do like the Squares pool at work. I'll do a survival league, things like that. But I'm not a big sports handicapper, so not generally.
Me either. I don't understand the odds in the game, so I don't play it. Maybe someday, but it's not for me. I don't have time to sit around and watch sports. I guess you don't have to watch it, but it feels like that would make the game way more interesting to watch if you got money on it, right? So
that's kind of the truth on that. If you put $10, I mean, I would do that often. I would put like $10 on the Packers to win the Super Bowl, and then that'd be the incentive to watch.
Right.
And then when they're not there, you're like, okay, they're out, done.
There's so
That's
much
it.
other things I should be getting done than watching sports all the time. That's all I'm saying. Oh man.
Jim Jones, WinStar or Vegas, which has better odds?
Oh man, I hate this question.
That's too tough to answer, Jim. Definitely. So, like, if you're comparing MGM Grand Cherries Jubilee versus WinStar VGT 3 reels, no difference. You play
Pretty
one,
close,
play the
yeah.
other, you're the same. You want to start talking about Class 3 at WinStar versus Class 3 in Vegas? Vegas is going to take that one for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Class 3 at WinStar makes their money for them, and so their odds are not the best. I can't tell you what they are, but they're not the best.
James Jones says, how do you simulate 10 million spins? So they can run the software. They don't have to, they don't have to do like
with a proud monkey.
Yeah, right. They don't have to actually physically do it. They can run the math program very quickly. RNG result. That can be done probably within an hour or maybe even quicker than that, depending on the CPU. But that's how they simulate it. They can basically run through it. I've actually written the slot machine program before that simulates it, and I always thought, I'm not going to reveal it yet, but I was going to let me do this. If you guys want me to do this, I think this might be a lot of fun, and maybe you'll give me the motivation to do it. So I was able to write a simulation of a double diamond because I have the par sheet and I know the probabilities of every combination. And so I was able to replicate that. And so one of the ideas I had for our website was allow people to go on there and play it, obviously for free, but it would keep track and record of every spin that everybody's ever done and show you in real time what the payback percentage is of that machine, and also what the results are, how many people have hit the 3 double diamonds, all that kind of stuff. And I thought it would be kind of a fun experiment, because then not only are you playing double diamond, but I'm going to show you everything that is going on behind the scenes in the slot machine at the same time. So you see how the probabilities are being distributed, and all that kind of stuff. And plus you could go in there and say, do 30 spins, and it'll do it real quick. You can see the results of 30 spins. But I think this would be fun, because that would be another way for us to get 10 million spins and see what the end result would be, right? So let me know if you're interested in me doing that. Maybe, man, it takes a long time to do that. Full-time job, guys, part-time job. I got a lot of stuff going on, but
got a lot of jobs.
I know I got a lot of jobs, but if that's something you'd want to see, I thought that would be cool to kind of release publicly and kind of make it a competition in a way. Let's see who can get the double diamonds and how many, that kind of thing. All right.
And from David.
Whoops, sorry. That was my fault.
David Cersei. Have enjoyed all the information you both bring to us. Oh, my screen went black. I got to replace the screen. Y'all remind me of two cousins that get together every chance to make mayhem with your bantering back and forth. Keep up the great work. Thank you, David. We often get compared to Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets, except we're completely nothing like that. For one, we're not Muppets.
No, yes, we are.
No, 100% not. For one, we're not Muppets. And two,
of course,
I've never been able to come up with a two, but we're not Muppets.
That's all. That's the best you can do.
I got one so far. Where's your work on this?
The funny thing is, if you think we're like two cousins or two brothers, you should see us in person. It's 10 times worse. It's really bad. I have to watch my sarcasm because it gets out of control. But we have a lot of fun. That's what matters.
When we were playing the smoking pile of pots,
oh man,
we're doing our movie quotes back and forth just because we were having a good time. We were doing that the whole trip.
That was fun.
It was a blast.
Try to guess the movie. All right. Rosemary, good to see you in here. She comments on our videos every single day. Rosemary, we love you. Thank you so much. Love that you watch everything. Do y'all play HHR machines? I have not yet once in a casino played an HHR machine. I've played them in G2E. I've played them in demo rooms before, but I've never in a casino played it. And I would love to someday. We're just getting started. So hopefully we get I guess Kentucky has them. We got to go out there and see Proud Monkey.
Well, we could.
Oh, I got to just reveal he's from Kentucky. Sorry, man.
Ha, you've been docked.
All right.
Everybody will start combing Kentucky.
Yeah, looking for Proud Monkey.
From Lucas Wiseman, any top picks of slots to play at Flamingo, Link, Harris, or Horseshoe? So Horseshoe, if they still have them, has a rallies. They had Money Mad Martians, triple double diamond with cheese, the quack shot, some top dollars, some double top dollars, both in the high limit room and outside the high limit room. I think they had pretty much the best selection. Harris gotten less, Link has gotten less, and Flamingo has gotten less. And Flamingo's high limit room, you're still going to find a few of the classic slots, but Horseshoe, if they're still there, by far had the best selection. Also, Planet Hollywood had a great bank of low denomination machines like that as well. Like didn't have Quackshot, but had triple double diamond cheese. I had several of them, and a couple of other games. But those would be my top picks for those casinos.
See, that's something I would never know. And Dave is so well traveled. He's been to so many casinos. He knows the layouts. He knows where all the good slots are.
One of these days, we're going to rent scooters so that you can keep up with me, and we're going to go to every casino, because that's all I would used to do, would be like to go to every.
When have I ever quit on you? I've never quit on you.
You've never walked with me that far before.
I know, because I know what you're about to do.
It's like, I will start at MGM Grand, and I will walk the whole strip. You saw me do it on my Cheap Eats video. And I'll just start walking, hit every single casino to see what's new, to see what's changed, to see where the machines have gone. It's just one of those. That's how I kind of pass time in Vegas when I'm not gambling. I like to see what's changed, and there's always something that's changed.
Oh, especially in Vegas, yeah. All the home casinos like are sprinkled around Louisiana and all that kind of stuff pretty much stay stagnant almost all the time.
Yep.
They bring in new machines, but they leave the old ones there, which is great. I love that. But Vegas, constantly. Cycle.
Yeah.
All right.
Which I would love to see the warehouses these guys have.
I know. All right. Let's start to wrap up here. I wanted to thank Tommy.
Hey, Tommy.
Met him at Slots of Fun. Guys, it was so much fun. He was one of our first 10 subscribers. So, Tommy, thank you so much for being with us for so long. We do appreciate it, and we are so happy. I mean, he was almost out of breath thinking that he wasn't going to catch us at Slots of Fun. So, glad you were able to meet us. We had a great time. And, of course, Kevin B. has also been a member for 4 months. I keep getting older and wiser.
I keep getting older.
That's the way it should work. You should not get older and dumber. You should get older and wiser, right? So
okay, Mark, I have a good wrap-up question here.
Okay.
Because it's probably going to take a little bit to answer.
Okay.
All right.
I'm scared, but go ahead.
We each get 4.
4
picks from Soup Freaks Mess. What are your top bad slot games? You can only pick 4.
One to end on.
I'm going to go with the Firecracker game right off the bat.
I haven't played it enough to really say it's like the worst. I know it's bad, but it's like I haven't played it enough to say it's bad. You have.
It was fully stacked with firecrackers and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that was, that was be absolutely top on my list.
What's another one for me? Diamond Queen.
That's a good one.
That one's bad. Brutal.
Planet Moolah, any of the versions, it doesn't matter. Even though
I thought you loved that game.
I like playing the game. That doesn't make it a good game.
Okay. Well, and then in that scenario, I have to say every Willy Wonka game that's ever been made. Oh man.
I'm not gonna say all the Link games because that's taken away, but I'm gonna say the Dollar Storm Link games, the Lightning Dollar Link games, those ones specifically. Yeah, not those
ones. Any 3-reel slot that has higher than a 3 times multiplier. 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, 12 times. They all suck. 7 times, Crystal 7s. No.
And
I'd rather watch paint dry than try to play those.
Is the magic of the lamp.
Oh, Mystery of the Lamp. Yeah,
Mystery of the Lamp.
I had a good run on that. I actually did like that game a little bit.
Not
It's
me.
like all those perceived progressives, though.
Yep.
It's hard to leave.
Yeah,
They definitely play with your psyche.
Hard to leave. It got me good, and it got me real good. So no,
Yeah,
that's like out of my game now.
I love that. I didn't even notice you did that. You waited till I left, and then you went back and tried to seek revenge on it.
I had to see what they all did at that point because they were ready to go.
Uh-huh.
It was for science. You get one more.
Science. Oh, one more? Oh, shoot. Bad game. Well, if you got one, go ahead. I got to still think.
Buffalo Link, Flamin' Pots.
Oh, any Buffalo game. Yeah. Oh, man.
No, not any Buffalo. I do like Buffalo Revolution a lot. That's probably my favorite Buffalo game.
I've had so many. Revolution. The only Buffalo game I like, and it's a bad one too, is the first one that came out with they had it at Park MGM. I was playing it a couple trips ago, where it's the big curved.
Yeah, the monster.
The monster, and
Buffalo
you get the
Grand.
You get I think that's what it's called. You get the three wheels, and then it's like a progressive, and then the multiplier, and then the free games. I love that game, but man, oh God.
It doesn't love me back.
I've put 300 into that and never gotten the bonus, and that's it's par for the course for Buffalo for me. I never have a good chance at it.
I think everyone's got a game like that.
Yeah. What can you do? All right, guys.
Don't play it.
Just the last couple things. Reminder: we will be at Lake Charles this weekend, so we hope to see you there. All you guys from Houston, Austin, San Antonio, or Louisiana. Hope you guys can see us. If you see us around and we're recording, doesn't matter. Come up, say hi, shake our hand, come play with us. We'll have a lot of fun. Also, poker chips in the store. We've got the blue and the red. Red looks really hot. I would get the red if I were you. And I think that's all the reminders. GameWillSmart.net is our website. That's where you can get all the store stuff. But
that's about it. That's all I can think of.
All right, sounds good.
We definitely appreciate every single one of you being here tonight. We almost got up to 500 people at one point. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it.
Music on to finish it off. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you later.
Have a good one, guys.
Guys, thanks for joining.